On Valentine's Day 2016, I climbed Cowboy Ridge.
I don't really feel like talking about that anymore. I want to go get wings. Maybe we'll talk about this later.
Right. This is the story of that climb in a nutshell. My goal was to try to make something that would actually be useful initially.
Hey guys, Steve here from Living Vertical, and today we are climbing Cowboy Ridge. We've been on the approach for about 15 minutes or so. The first part of the approach, really, you're taking the Chinle Trail, and so from the point that we went through the green gate by the corral, it's a couple hundred yards up the trail, and you intersect the wash. It's not really a hard right. It's almost like bearing right off the highway on an exit.
You can probably see at this point that trying to explain every single landmark is a really time-consuming process and just didn't make sense after a short time.
This is going to be a great Valentine's, no question there. I'm trying this new camouflage style of dress because I want to be really inconspicuous when I'm climbing. I don't want people to be able to see me. And you can see down the wash behind me a few places where we've had to... Oh shit!
It didn't take too long to figure out that I needed to pay less attention to narrating the video and more attention to where I was putting my hands and feet.
I feel like I'm getting old here. I can hear my shoulders popping coming up here. Yeah, really? Gotta have heads up for loose rocks.
Yep.
That's probably going to be a useful lesson for the route that we're going to be climbing today.
I had no idea how accurate that statement was going to be.
Arches in Zion. Okay, heading up out of the wash, going up the hill. Didn't really pick any special point in particular to exit, just kind of picked a line and went for it. It's kind of loose.
None of it can be trusted.
You gotta like kick steps into the actual rock. Okay, so we're at the bottom of the Springdale band here. We're gonna attempt to go this way, which looks to be about 4th class-ish, maybe a move of 5th. Definitely do not intend to come that way on the way down. So 220 on the approach so far. Did a little bit of climbing, just to kind of get through that lower cliff band. I would say the approach is fairly heads up, a lot of loose stuff, but it's really pretty. About 2 hours, 40 minutes, and we are at a start of the route, as you can see. So, just came up the gully there behind me.
Yeah.
4th class, pretty straightforward moves, but a lot of loose rock. The view does not suck. And blood sugar, 103.
What?
103.
Uh-oh.
Gonna have a little snack. We wound up going onto the ridge a little too early. Then you wind up having to drop down and climb back up and drop down. There's a bunch of big up and downs.
So the whole ups and downs was really the first part of the route entirely. You want to be able to see ahead, so you go up on the ridge and then you get up on the ridge and you realize that the actual climbable portion of the route is actually back down below you. So you wind up going back down and you're constantly going back up and back down, trying to figure out where the route goes.
We're gonna stay roped up at this point, and it's pretty warm out. I think I can dispense with my brightly colored garb. Blood sugar is holding pretty steady right now, 143. Looks like we've reached the first official bit of technical climbing up that chimney. Up until this point, I would say trying to get up on top of the ridge just creates more work, because then you have to go down, which is harder and I would argue oftentimes dicier. We actually roped up earlier, but it wound up being more in the way and made it a lot harder to move. So took the rope off, took the jacket off. Let's see what this is like. I may need both hands for this at some point, so I'll film as much as I can reasonably, and then, well, then I won't. Selfie stick earns its salt. Shit. Just about got pelted in the face there. Loose rock is very real. Okay, putting the camera away in order to avoid getting beamed in the face with rocks.
And I started to care a lot less about capturing video and a lot more about moving efficiently on the route and getting off in time, and also just being safe up there and not falling.
Rock is very loosely held together, if that. Thank you. Definitely want to test every handhold and foothold if you can, because many of them are really suspect. Well, we are on the summit here of at least the south summit. The summit proper, the north summit, is over there.
It's like 2-3 moves of 5'6", 5'7", 5'5", with 1,500 feet of exposure and not a damn place to put a piece of protection.
It's true. So
I want to go home and get beer.
now we got to get down. It's an easy route, they said. It'll be fun, they said. No snow. I'm trying to kick steps in here best I can, but we are at the top of the descent gully. I think the easiest way to kind of figure out where you want to position yourself is if you look behind me, you can see the dip in the notch. And just when you thought the fun was over, there is a lot of scrub oak to bushwhack through. So I think at this spot here we want to go.
Look left, there's a cairn.
Yeah, left.
That's
Left where there's a cairn. Also, there's a big chimney down to the right, which we want to avoid. So we're going to go left. Still on the descent, and it has been a little bit spicy. It's hard to take the right turns. We stayed pretty much close to the wall, but there's a gully down here, like sort of a cut-off gully that looks inviting. Not fun. Yes, dangerous. I have to say the descent is really tricky and not well marked. It's really hard to place or observe landmarks. I would definitely not dismiss this as a 5-7 climb. This is definitely it's got a lot more bite. I realize also too that I haven't really been doing a lot of meticulous blood sugar testing. My sensor is on its 3rd week now, and it's giving me the 3 question marks. I think what I'm actually going to do is put the GoPro away. I know Chris is going to be really disappointed to see the pink selfie stick go bye-bye for a little bit, but I think we'll take this back out when we get to the car. Ah! Ooh, 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 ooh. Ah! Just got stabbed in the leg by, I'm not sure what kind of plant that is, but it hurt, and I felt it all the way down into my foot. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera away until we're back safely at the car. Keep my hands free and move a little faster, hopefully.
A few things that I want to point out about the route. Number one, 5.7 is not a trivial grade when you have 1,500 feet of exposure and loose rock as sort of a constant part of the experience. You can't just pull out a rope and protect your climbing at any point if you get sketched. There are a lot of points where you can't really protect the moves, and you have to be comfortable just going through it. The descent is third or fourth class if you get it perfect. The problem is that it's really difficult to get the descent perfect. You do not want to do the descent in the dark. You don't want to take the cutoff gully that comes about halfway down the descent gully. If you take that gully and try to escape the descent gully earlier, you will get cliffed out lower down at the Springdale Band, and then you will have a problem, and then it will... I would like to ask you for your support. Just subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends, because that helps us reach a lot more people with this message.